Andrew Wood was born on January 8, 1966 in Columbus, Mississippi. He was the lead singer and a songwriter for the Seattle band called Mother Love Bone. If he would have stayed alive, Pearl Jam would have never existed. Stone Gossard and Jeff Ament were the future members of Pearl Jam who were also in the band. Andy was the anti-grunge rock star. He was extroverted, flamboyant, extremely confident, charismatic, and just plain fun, not to mention a phenomenal singer. He was roommates and good friends with Chris Cornell from Soundgarden. Chris said of Andrew, "He was the only rock star I ever met." Mother Love Bone seemed to be on the road to superstardom, but Andy's drug problem put an end to those dreams. Instead of being the grunge David Lee Roth, and believe me, I mean that in the most flattering way, he's now a footnote in the Seattle movement. He died shortly before their debut album called Apple was released. A New York Times reviewer said Andrew could have been the first of the big league Seattle rock stars. He was heavily influenced by Elton John, Kiss, and Freddie Mercury. He was in a band with his brother as a teenager called Malfunction. He inspired many great songs to be written in tribute to him, including Wood by Alice in Chains, Say Hello to Heaven and Reach Down by Temple of the Dog, and Far Behind by Candlebox. If you haven't heard the song Chloe Dancer, Crown of Thorns by Mother Love Bone, do yourself a favor and listen to it. He never married and had no children. He went to rehab, but sadly it didn't work. He died in 1990 from hypoxic encephalopathy. That's when the brain is deprived of blood and oxygen. He had a heroin overdose and he arrived at the hospital comatose. Once he was taken off life support, he passed away. He was 24 years old. Layne Staley was born on August 22, 1967 in Kirkland, Washington. He was a singer and a songwriter in the great Seattle band called Alice in Chains. He was also in a band called Mad Season and a glam band called Sleaze. His vocal harmonies with Jerry Cantrell still give me goosebumps today. Can we all agree that their MTV Unplugged performance was one of the best? My favorite song from them has always been Got Me Wrong. What's your favorite? Layne met Jerry Cantrell at a party and they soon became friends and started writing songs and performing. Cantrell said of Layne's voice, "I knew that voice was the guy I wanted to be playing with. It sounded like it came out of a 350-pound biker rather than skinny little Layne." Alice in Chains helped shape the Seattle sound. Despite all of his success, his drug addiction became more important than making music. There were bodyguards hired to keep dealers away from him. It was said that he weighed 86 pounds and lost most of his teeth near the end of his life. He played his last show with Alice in Chains in 1996 when they opened up for Kiss in Kansas City, Missouri. He never married and had no children. He was engaged at one point to a woman named Demery, but they broke up and she died due to her drug habit in 1996. People say he never got over her. Layne died in 2002 from a speedball, a mixture of cocaine and heroin. Mike Starr, former Alice in Chains bassist, was the last person to see Layne alive. His body wasn't found for 2 weeks. He was 34 years old. Bradley Nowell was born on February 22, 1968 in Long Beach, California. He was the charismatic lead singer, a songwriter, guitar player, and founding member of the band called Sublime. His story is really one of the most tragic I can think of. I can only imagine the great music and tours they could have had since the time he died. They've sold over 20 million albums. Get Ready was always my favorite Sublime song. I'm curious, what's yours? He fell in love with reggae music after a trip to the Virgin Islands with his father. He attended college in Santa Cruz and Long Beach, majoring in finance. With 1 semester left, he dropped out to focus on his band. He was very intelligent and he could speak Spanish fluently. Sublime was a mixture of ska, punk, reggae, and rock. They released their debut studio album in 1992 called 40 Ounce to Freedom. Robin the Hood came out in 1994, followed by the amazing self-titled album in 1996. His beloved Dalmatian named Lou Dog died of old age in 2001. Bradley was married once and had 1 child. He married his girlfriend named Troy in Las Vegas a week before he passed away. He died in 1996 in a San Francisco hotel room from a drug overdose. He was sober for 3 months before that. His son named Jacob has joined the band and they started touring again. I'm very happy with this decision. What about you? Bradley was 28 years old. Aaron Carter was born on December 7, 1987 in Tampa, Florida. He was a singer and an actor. He was also a songwriter and a musician. He was the younger brother of Nick Carter, who is in the Backstreet Boys. He had a twin sister named Angel. His life was an extreme roller coaster. From the outside looking in, he should have had a charmed life. How can one be quote-unquote normal when he's opening up for the Backstreet Boys at age 9? He had 4 platinum albums by the time he turned 15. He dated various actresses, models, and singers. He came out as bisexual later in life. Some of the TV shows he appeared in were Lizzie McGuire, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Dancing with the Stars, Seventh Heaven, and House of Carters, which was a reality show that followed his family around. He was also in a Broadway play in 2011 called The Fantastics. Bankruptcy, arrests, restraining orders for and against him, lawsuits, rehab, betrayal, mental illness, adult webcamming, sexual abuse, domestic violence against him. Wow, his life was chaos. His sisters Leslie and Bobby Jean both died from a drug overdose. He was arrested for a DUI in 2017. He said he suffered from multiple personality disorder, schizophrenia, acute anxiety, and manic depression. He never married and had one child. He was engaged at the time of his death. He died in 2022 after accidentally drowning in his bathtub because of drugs he had taken, according to the coroner's report. He was 34 years old. Shannon Hoon was born on September 26, 1967 in Lafayette, Indiana. His birth name was Richard Shannon Hoon. He is known for being the singer and a songwriter in the band called Blind Melon. His first band was called Stiff Kitten, but it didn't last long. He moved to Los Angeles and met his Blind Melon bandmates. His sister was friends with Axl Rose in high school. After arriving in LA, he became friends with Axl. Shannon appeared in two Guns N' Roses songs called The Garden and Don't Cry. In 1992, Blind Melon released their debut album. Their video for No Rain was very memorable and featured a girl in a bee costume. My favorite songs on that album were Tones of Home and Change. They opened up for some huge bands including Ozzy, Guns N' Roses, and Soundgarden. Shannon was arrested in 1993 for disrobing and peeing on a fan from on stage. He was supposedly high on LSD while playing Woodstock 94. He was in and out of rehab. He was never married and had one daughter named Nico. Shortly after their second album called Soup was released, Shannon died from a cocaine overdose in 1995. He was 28 years old. Hillel Slovak was born on April 13, 1962 in Haifa, Israel. He was the original guitarist and founding member of the band Red Hot Chili Peppers. He was also a talented artist. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2012. They were formed in 1983. His family moved to Los Angeles in 1967. He quit the band before they recorded their first album, but he rejoined for the next two albums. When Anthony Kiedis was asked about Slovak possibly rejoining the band, he said, "I'd give my firstborn son to get him back in the band." He met Anthony Kiedis, Flea, and Jack Irons at Fairfax High School in LA. They became friends and used substances together. He received his first guitar at age 13. Hillel wasn't happy with the bass player in his first band called Anthem, so we taught Flea how to play. Flea said, "Hillel is always with me, and my love for him only grows stronger with time." The original name for the band was Tony Flo and the Miraculously Majestic Masters of Mayhem. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't stop using drugs. He never married and had no children. He died in 1988 from a heroin overdose. He was 26 years old.